channel. Listen, y'all saw the thumbnail, so you know why you're here. This is a review and commentary for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6b, Episode 21. I titled it, You're Dead to Me, A Family Divided, and we are going to get into all the reasons why in just a second. But listen, y'all, I had to watch this episode at least a half a dozen times, child. When I tell you, I could not believe all of the things that were going on, all of the facial expressions, all of the everything. And we are going to do this review today with my sister and my co-host for Season 6B, Miss Clone. Welcome to the platform. Again, welcome back, okay? Miss Clone, how are you?
I'm great. Glad to be back.
Glad to be back. Okay, child. Listen, we all know who the breakout star was.
Kiki Jabbar.
Kiki Jabbar, child. Look at this woman's face. Okay, when she did her thing at the end of this episode, listen, she was double dog daring anybody to say anything to her. She was on ready, okay? Ready to go. And we're going to talk about how she got there.
Yep.
About how she got there, okay?
Clench jaw, clench fist, clench butt cheeks.
Okay, clench. I'm going to whoop that today. Listen, when you see somebody looking like this, get out of their way, cross the street. They ain't playing. Okay. She is on 100 and she ain't coming down. Okay. So let's get into it. Starting with, what do you rate this episode?
I rated it a 9.5, and that was actually my second rating because my first one came in a little bit lower. Okay. But after watching it a few times, I upped my rating because this episode was so layered between what was said verbally, the body language, the facial expressions, what people were doing in the background at the time that certain things were happening. Okay. There was quite a bit going on. So it was a lot.
That's
a lot to see.
Finding it. If you didn't pay attention to that episode, you didn't see exactly what was going on. This is the brilliance of the episode. The way they went back and started letting you see, this is what this one was doing. This is what this one was, because it literally was a shock that she did it. But anywho, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, child. Just grab that popcorn, okay? For the review, grab your popcorn. How about that? I give it a 10 too. I give it a 10 for the same exact reasons you did, but also because I'm going to give kudos to production as well. In season 5 reunion, last episode of the reunion, 3-parter, Carlos King makes an announcement to the cast and to everyone watching. We are killing the Marsau is cheating storyline. It's dead. We can't find anything. There's nothing going on here. Clearly, it is a sore spot for Tisha and Marcel. Marcel ends it with a smirk on his face. All of the fellas had made a pact. They pinky swore that they would never tell. Martel even says that, I told you I was never going to tell, and I won't say anything. So we all thought, okay, let's see how the next season moves. Because Marcel has been accused of cheating since season 1. After Martel reveals his infidelity, he felt that Marsau and Maurice were making fun of him. And he said, it ain't like y'all ain't been with over 20 women. Like y'all have been with more women than me. And he knew about it. And you get these wide eyes and just, Jesus, Maurice was about to get married. His wedding is on the calendar. It's supposed to be a part of the episode. Martel busted them all out. Okay. And that's really been the storyline for Marsau and Maurice, to be honest, since season 1. And Carlos said, we're killing it dead. We're never talking about this. Then around May, I would say maybe early mid-May, 4 months after he said we're killing it, it's back on the table because it hits the internet. It is on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everything. Okay. TikTok even had it. Like literally everybody is talking about Tisha's glam squad possibly hooking up with her husband at a bar that she owns 85% of. And the glam squad is sharing it with other members of the cast, sharing it with their glam squad. So we actually have Marsau shitting where he eats. Okay. Allegedly. Okay. I'm going to put the alleged on, but That's the story. Marsau is shitting where he eats, and production said, we're filming this. Everybody's talking about it. We are going to get ahead of it. We're filming it. It will be a part of 6b, just like Kiki and the Crime Stopper video being a part of 6a. Well, actually, they announced that at the end and then brought it to 6b. But they're saying this is stuff that's in the news. We're filming, or this is stuff that's on social media. We're filming, so we're going to talk about it. And I have to say, I appreciated that. Okay, since we've heard chatter about how the deposition isn't a part of the show, and it isn't, because I think Marsau made some comment. I think Tisha said, "How was court?" And it's not court, Tisha. It's not court, Tisha. It's just, it was just a deposition, right? They just asked me questions. So at the end of the day, kudos for them for bringing it to the show and for saying we're going to move forward. And we'll see what happens. Right now, this is what I can say for sure. Kiki is hurt. Would you agree?
Ditto. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Kiki is hurt. I know that there's a lot of people clapping and saying, we needed to see Tisha get that water to the face. We wish that Kiki would have whooped her ass, all of that stuff. Kiki is hurt. I'm going to say it out loud, even if she doesn't feel that way or she doesn't think it's true. We watched the demise of a family that was already fractured get pulled apart even more.
Right.
And it involves your mother, Tisha's mother, your daddy, Tisha, Marcel, Kimmy, Maurice. We saw Jalen put his hand like this. Jalen was like, get the fuck out. At the end of the scene, listen, I'm getting ahead of myself, but you got young people pointing, saying, go, not at my mama's house, you ain't. Bye. The fact that all of these people, and again, this started in May, it has been ongoing since then, still happening right now. Your auntie said you were dead to her. Kiki says on somebody else's platform, she dead to me. Like, Kiki's been on other people's platforms, YouTube platforms. She's been on her own IG Live in the middle of the morning trying to say, redeem herself. Let people know there's rumors out there, rumors that we know who's saying it, who's keeping it consistent. Wanda, Marsau, Tisha, calling her a junkie, calling her, you still on that stuff. Da, 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 da. So she's fighting that. Fighting
Crime Stoppers
video. She's hurt.
She's hurt.
She is hurt.
She's hurt.
I don't care what y'all say. If y'all go back and y'all look at her face, the only reason she would ever throw a drink in Tisha's face is because she gave a damn. Okay? You don't care. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, let's get into it, child.
Let's get to it. Yeah.
All right. So let's get into it. Starting with Melody and Kiki. This is exactly where they left off last episode. Kiki's letting Melody know there's a rumor out there that Marsau had a threesome with a member of Tisha's glam team and somebody else in the back of the cigar bar, like I said, that Tisha owns 85% of. And she said, I had to pray on it. I had to pray on whether or not to even bring it to her, because she's trying to repair her relationship with Tisha. That's the question Melody asked her when the episode opens. How are things with you and your cousin? Give it some time. Melody's been saying that, ongoing. Give this some time, but I want y'all to repair things because y'all fell out for the wrong reason. Everybody know that you two were thick as thieves, that you said you were like sisters. So I would like to see you get in a better place, right? And Kiki says, I don't see it getting there because right now Tisha's blaming me for the rumors. The rumors that Tisha literally said to her, keep my marriage out of your mouth. Anyway, the two of us will get back cool again. And then we still doing baby steps, okay? Because Tisha was willing to hug Melody before she hugged her cousin.
Right.
Cousin, right?
Right. And the significant part about that too Kiki made a promise. She said, we're never going to get back here again. We're done.
She said, I think this is it. I think we're going to do it again. So right now, Kiki's trying to make amends, period. Trying to make amends with her family, the Scotts. I'm going to call it what it is, because she wouldn't go this hard if she wasn't.
No.
In this,
you wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care. She said, I had to pray on it. In the scene, she said, I don't want my cousin looking like a fool.
Right.
Scene, she says, all I want is for Tisha to open her eyes, because I want to beat Marsau's ass with her.
Right.
That's what you say when you got somebody's back, when you want someone to know that you're not the person that you think I am. I want to redeem myself with you. I want us to get back on track. Period.
Right.
To the period. Okay.
Right.
So she says all that in this scene. And then she says to Melody, I don't see how it's going to happen. She asked me to fire my makeup artist because she's saying that she's spreading the rumors. And Mel says to her, Kiki, how long has this rumor been out there? It's getting challenging and remedial at this point. Like, maybe she doesn't want to know. Stop trying to bring her shit that she doesn't want to hear. That's what she's saying to her. And then she also said, because I ain't gonna miss a opportunity to take a jab. She said, when I was having these problems, when I was in heartbreak about mine, she said, listen, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
There's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, nope, she did say that. And the one thing that I feel was happening in this episode, she doesn't say it, but the dots that I connected was this was going to be her redemption to Tisha, to get her this piece of information that she needed. And Tisha basically was just like, nope, don't want to hear it.
Don't want to hear it. And she was willing to hear it at first, though. She told her she was going to meet her, and she chose not to. She said she stood me up. She ghosted me.
She chose not to because someone talked her out of it.
Marsau. Because Marsau's life is better without Kiki in it. I don't want you talking to Tisha.
Right.
But yeah, that is exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And then people, because of the way the scene was edited, child had all kind of dog noises and cat sounds because they couldn't say people's names. But Kiki ended up making a post on Facebook where she tried to make things a little more clear. But she said, no, Tisha came to me and said that my makeup artist was responsible for spreading these rumors. I told her I'd try to find out what was going on. She said, okay. When I got the info, I went to her directly. She didn't show, and I wasn't pressed to keep calling her every day for her to come get the info. But of course, she still tried to blame me. Now, she does blame you for sure, because she feels like if your makeup artist has her name in her mouth, it's because of you. You've given her the leeway to do so. So she's asking for you to fire her so that she can see that you're trying to make some, you're trying to build, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to rebuild trust. That's where Keisha, if I can speak for Tisha, that's where she's coming from. You, on the other hand, is like, no, your problem is with that mother.
Right. The one that's actually committing the crime.
Right. And I shouldn't be firing anybody who's making me look this good.
Right.
Because you can't keep him on a leash. Address it with him first. And if you're not willing to, I'm going to do the groundwork. I'm going to find out some things for you. And I'm assuming that's the picture we saw of her, the boyfriend of one of Tisha's makeup artists, one of her glam squad, and then also Kiki's makeup artist. So there's a picture of 3 people. And this picture circulates all over social media. And people were saying, well, when Tisha and Marsau saw that picture, they immediately thought Kiki was involved. Kiki was like, she already knew that I was going to get this information. Oops, sorry about that. My light went out. Kiki said she already knew I was going to get this information. So she's lying. I got the information for her. I was able to tell her what she needed. And she ended up not showing up, but she didn't show up because Marsau said, we putting a kibosh on this shit. Okay, true or false? This is not what we want. I don't want Kiki in my life.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's what happened there. After Melody says all that, we get a scene also, because Melody said, where there's smoke, there's fire. That's what she said to me, which, by the way, is what the producers called the episode "Where There's Smoke, There Is Marcel." So I don't know if I said that. I hope I'm not repeating myself. Either way, we also get this flashback scene. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. After she does all of that, Kiki tells her there's a problem with Tisha because she's sloppy.
Right.
She's sloppy as hell. She's pulling other people's return policies and it on a website for her products. And then on top of all of that, it happens to be Stormy's return policy, and Stormy's brand name is in the text. Tisha didn't think enough to pull it out.
She didn't read through it.
Yeah, she didn't even read through it to pull it out. So she got that going on. And that's when Mel said, well, damn, you know, Tisha's, I know you think that's a problem, but Tisha's known for stuff. Okay. She has a little problem where that's concerned. She did it with me because I had my Embrace skin line that I had to relaunch, and I called it something else. But when I was out there marketing that, Tisha had the Mommy Business podcast, and she used my font. And then she sat her ass up on the stage talking about she was a power couple. And we ain't known Tisha to power a drink, to power a lawnmower, to power anything. So what is she talking about? Melody even yawned. They show Melody yawning in the video. It was crazy, y'all. That was how that scene ended. Let's get to the next, child. Let's get up this one right here. We're going to start the scene first, child. Y'all know that Maurice is absolutely on some bull, right?
I know it.
Okay. Maurice is on some bull. And when I tell you the audience is tired, we're tired. I don't know why this keeps happening, but we needed to stop. Okay? Don't bring that bullshit here, Maurice. Here comes Maurice, like James Brown. Every single time we have to hear about his weenie every episode, and I don't understand why.
I don't either. Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
Y'all can just kill any scene with him in it from this point forward. We don't want to hear any more about it. Who cares?
I don't want to hear any more about his libido and how he's not being satisfied.
Facts.
I could care less.
Facts. So anywho, don't bring it back over here, Maurice. Let this be the last of it. We don't even care if y'all go to therapy at this point. Don't bring us nothing. How about that? But anyways, Maurice has a scene with Marsau, and I know we're just going to give y'all the short and skinny of it because it is about his penis, and we don't want any more penis jokes penis jokes. I mean, he is a joke where his penis is concerned, but we don't want any more penis talk. But anywho, go ahead, child, because I know you have something to say to Kimmy and Maurice because somebody was windmilling last time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to just quickly set up the scene because it's a know-nothing scene, in my opinion. He stops at an auto dealership or an auto store of some sort, picks up a vehicle for Kimmy that he is going to surprise her with. And then he goes out of his way to really show his ego by saying that because life is short and she has gone through what she has just gone through, he has decided to give her the vehicle that she's asked for versus the one that he wanted her to have, which I also thought was BS. As you can see, Marsau shows up here as well, and they have a conversation. And then here's where the weenie conversations come in. And he basically starts to talk to Marsau about sex, how he's not getting enough. He makes a couple snide remarks about Kimmy, wanting to drive with the top down and feeling the breeze through her hair. He makes a joke about that because she's bald.
Right. Marsau didn't even want to be a part of the scene.
No. You've got the most misogynistic man in the world. Right.
So we talked about our sex sizes when we were 12 faking.
Right.
Really, like, Maurice, we don't even talk about this. So for you,
exactly.
To tell you how fake the scene is. Maurice and I never talk about this. So the fact that he's bringing it up in the scene should tell you how fake the scene is.
Right. And he basically tells him, suck it up, Buttercup. Right. I mean, he gives some, one-liner jokes in there and tells him to suck it up and deal with it. Because obviously this is a more sensitive situation than Maurice is acting as it is.
And Marsau isn't even sensitive. He's the most insensitive guy there is.
Right.
For him to say, oh, don't say that about the hair. Oh, don't. Maurice, don't say that. Okay.
Right.
I don't want to be out to this scene because that's how ugly it is.
Right.
knows that you would be nothing without Kimmy.
Right. What I want to say to all of the parties involved in this scene, in the front of the camera and behind it, cut it. Cut it for the future. Seriously. I feel like it's a fake storyline, number one. I mean, obviously, I don't think that her cancer was fake. I do believe that that was real. I do believe that they don't have anything that they feel is scandalous enough to bring to the table. So this is what they're coming with. And I think they need to cut it. I find it offensive. I find it highly offensive as a female and as a human being, if I can just say that. And I think Maurice just needs to be somebody else.
For sure. I say this because I already put this out on my page. When you have an actual urologist, a doctor who heard about this online when it first went viral because they were on that stupid Fox show, whatever it was, when they had that conversation and Kimmy left all puffed up like this because she couldn't speak because she was so infuriated with Maurice. When that hit the scene, I remember a actual urologist, because I went to his page and he is a doctor. He said, may his erectile dysfunction come full force. Okay. Yeah, that's all we need to know. Y'all should have killed it then. You pissed everybody off. People were saying that it was a crime what Maurice was doing in the criminal justice system. Sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. Like they were reading all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Someone said, you could immediately go to hell, sir. I'm almost positive she was rolling over and faking it long before she got sick. Someone else said, roll over and suffer through it. Broke my heart. Yeah. Another person said, I just want to fight him, tag him. Oh, that was Portia's baby daddy. Tag him and let him know. And they were actually supposed to fight. So, child, the internet was on fire even then with this. Mm-hmm. The fact that they were like, oh, look, everybody is, interested in it. Let's keep it going. No, we were begging you to cut the bullshit. We don't want to
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We've asked you already to cut it out. You continue to bring it and you continue to bring it full force. And then you have the nerve to say, oh, well, now I get another perspective. So I guess I can see it from both ways. I don't get it. I mean, you're supposed to be intelligent. You're supposed to have a master's degree or some sort of JD. I don't know. And I don't care. At this point, what you're doing is insensitive. It's hurtful, even if it's not for your wife, even if it is fake. There are a lot of women that watch the show that have either gone through this or know someone that has, and it's not cute. It's not funny. It's not likable. It's a very lazy storyline, and it needs to get kicked to the curb all the way.
All the way. And then at the end, and I agree with you 100%. I was repulsed by this scene. I was repulsed. And I'm not even going to try to give Kimmy credit at this point because we all watched me slide into the depths of hell with this man. She was on a pedestal and she slid all the way down as low as she can go. And she's actually the one who's engaging in this bullshit with him. So no, neither one of them get to the point. It sucks. This storyline sucks, period. The other thing that happened in the scene is they asked Marsau Maurice asked Marsau if he would be cool with Stormy and her husband coming, because Stormy and her husband has continually called Marsau a bitch. And he ended up saying, I'm totally fine because I don't know those people. And then in confessional, he says, I've lived on this earth for 43 years without having Stormy, or not even Stormy, he said the Beasleys. So y'all remember an episode back, he called them both the Steels, and now he said, well, fuck it, I'm going to call both of them the Beasleys. He said, I've went through the entire 43 years without having the Beasleys as friends. I think I can go another 43 years. And that's how the scene ends, but it's a horrible scene. Just want to say that, okay?
Same.
Okay, so the next scene is Stormy and her husband. This is also a filler scene. This wasn't really that much. Wasn't that much going on. But Stormy and Courtney, most of y'all remember Stormy got sick earlier this year, and she went into the hospital. She thought she was going to have, she had sore throat, and she thought that it was actually, what did she say? Sepsis?
She was going septic, but I think she called it toxic shock syndrome. She was going into toxic shock syndrome.
And she said that she was almost there. And so a lot of people were like investigating the story. Oh, Heavenly Father, a lot of people were investigating the story, calling the hospital, calling urgent care.
Oh, no.
Something, yeah, child. They did not let her get away with this one. People were in the medical profession was saying, this is a bull story. So they said something to the extent of, you don't almost go, you're in it. If somebody gives you a diagnosis, you're in it. There's no almost to it. But she said that she needed to slow down, and Courtney was laying beside her and, helping her, feel better about what was going on. And then they get into a conversation about Tisha.
Well, they get into a conversation first, I believe, about Kiki. That's what the Crime Stopper video.
Okay, so they bring that back up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Along with an insult, they said that she looked like Darkwing Duck.
Okay. So Stormy calls her Darkwing Duck. I don't even know what to relate to that at this point. Maybe because she was wearing purple. I think that was their way of trying to make a lighter moment of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily feel like it was lighter. But she was the first to call me. Kiki was the first to call me when I was going through, when I was in the hospital, and she had posted her picture wherever she was. She had posted a picture of her, trying to get better. Anywho, and then she makes the Darkwing Duck comment, child, bye. Anywho, it goes from that to Tisha, I think.
That's correct.
Tisha and her wanting to, she said, listen, Tisha stole my website information, the return policy. And she said, I don't mind that she's took it because a lot of people borrow from my website, which made me go look at her website because I wanted to see what it looked like. We're going to get into it. But I went and looked at her website, and then I said, she said, a lot of people borrow from my website, so I just want to address it with her. And in particular, because her husband was coming at me pretty hard, like they had all the answers when it comes to business.
Mm-hmm.
And this chick is stealing from my page.
Right.
Make sure I address it with her. But in the meantime, she says to Courtney, they invited us to a barbecue. We're invited to a barbecue at Kimmy's house. Do you want to go? And that's when Courtney says, Marsau F set up for everybody, don't he? But I ain't going, okay? This scene, Tisha Marcel has given us a bunch of tomfoolery, and I am not kidding. At first glance, you might think that they are waving some white flag and asking people to please stop picking on them because they're only human. They're just out here trying to feed their kids kind of thing. But I just want you to keep in mind, we are dealing with Tisha and Marcel, and you got to really, pay attention. They are condescending as hell, and they try to trick people into thinking something that isn't true. First off, let's start with episodes 1 through 5 for this actual season, where they went around being as disrespectful and condescending as hell to absolutely everybody on the cast, saying that they point blank did not respect their business, that they didn't know what they did even, okay? People with, long-standing jobs, pillars of the community, people who did important work. They basically was like, we don't care, and we don't care to take any advice from y'all either. Okay, so they were walking around strutting like peacocks and roosters, and they come into this scene and they still want to play in our faces. And I just was like, listen, if they're nothing, they're consistent about being a-holes. I can give them that. But it is clear to me that the producer said to them, address the pink elephants in the room. You guys are being talked about. You've been talked about. People are saying that you plagiarize some content off of Stormy's site, your castmate of all things. So y'all got to talk about it. You got to also talk about what happened to Bet on Black, because it got canceled before it got started. So Marsau has to talk about that. So in the scene, Marsau walks into, I guess this is a job site for Tisha's realty office. And he says to Tisha right off the bat, well, first off, child, I told you pink elephants. Tisha in her pink shirt, Marsau hits pink and green. Tisha has to say, oh, you're wearing pink and green. Okay. I don't even think they tried to hug in the scene either. But Marsau got right into it. He said, we're canceling Bet on Black. I know we did the commercial and everything, but we're canceling it. And then he said it was because someone called the city and reported them for illegal gambling. Now, the event didn't even take place yet. Marsau has plenty of flyers and things to say that no real money was being involved and that it was actually for charity. But instead of him sharing that with the city, he said, I canceled it immediately because I don't want anything like that, any type of negativity like that to be associated with my business. Now, we already know there's other negativity that's associated with this business, like him being in a back room with other women. But that's what he's pointing out to Tisha here, because they're ignoring the pink elephants clearly still. But then Tisha takes the lead and says, well, I know how you feel about this. Okay. Oh, I should also say that Marsau said nobody else is in the community doing anything. So if him and Tisha aren't doing it, I guess people are going to be shit out of luck. And that's not even, something I'm making up. He really made it seem like him and Tisha were the only one. And if they're not doing it, good luck to y'all, because you are ruining a good thing by calling the city on us. We're not having it. Then Tisha piggybacks off of it and starts talking about how she's under pressure because it's too much. People keep coming for her personally, her marriage, her businesses, and even the business for her kids. She said, this is a business for her kids. It should be off limits, but people are going after her about that. And it was just a mistake. It was just a mistake. And she's upset with the web developer because he was the one who put it on there. She said that she paid him lots and lots of money to get that website up. And now she is hurt and pissed and she doesn't know what to do, basically. She starts crying. Marsau wipes her tears, y'all, and told her, Tisha, don't do that. We don't want you to mess up your makeup. And she's like, I'm trying. And then she said, thank you for being there for me. He tells her, of course I'm going to be there for you because you were there for me for the thingy. And I was like, what the hell is the thingy? Is he talking about when he told everybody that he was depressed and the show actually put up a disclaimer saying, call this hotline if you're experiencing depression? Because that is off the chain, Marsau, for you to call it a thingy now. But that is really how that scene plays out. Now, this is what I have to say, because even that's weird. Marsau also said this, I should say. He actually tried to give Tisha a bone and said, did the same person who did our website for Macy and Mila do Stormy's website? And this is what I want y'all to do. Go to Google and type in Stormy Still's website for Canvas Beauty and then Tisha's website and tell me what y'all see, because I couldn't believe it. I went to both of those websites and they are so night and day different. In fact, Stormy's website is like on Saturn, on Mars. It is so interactive and just it's beautiful. It's a beautiful site. Grade A, top tier website. Tisha's website looks like what you would do in 1991 when they built the first website. And I'm not even joking. Her product website looked like it came out of 1991, like Wanda could have did it. Okay. And on top of her putting Stormy's return policy on there, she also left notes. Whoever attempted to help her get this website up and running left a little section where they put notes in there for her to go in and make changes and remove that particular paragraph. But she left it in there, and I am not lying. Here it is. It is advice. Someone said to her, you should open accounts on Facebook and Twitter for their products and to interact with potential customers. Also, the search bar needs tweaking, as I placed hair care products in the bar and nothing was retrieved. Whether a website has 3 products, which that is all her website has, or 100, the search bar should yield an answer to a search. Child, this is definitely all for fun and games because they should have known better. It was almost like they were asking us to go to these websites and compare. So under no circumstances, no way, no how, no sir. Let's talk about the next scene. Okay, everybody, this is the last scene. This is the money scene. This is Kiki versus Tisha. The Scotts versus Kiki, basically. I don't even know if I'm putting her husband in it at this point. He comes in at the end, but Kiki was fighting this fight on her own. Anyway, this is a barbecue that Kimmy and Maurice are having following the town hall meeting. They just want to make sure that everybody can stay cool with each other because, energy was running high, emotions was running high. So they're throwing a just basic barbecue. We're going to play spades in the backyard, eat hamburgers and hot dogs, and drink some drink, period. And one by one, they are rolling in. Stormy's the first to arrive. Courtney dropped her off. He said he wasn't coming, okay? Mel shows up next. She got boxes of what looks like pastries or something. So she is being the perfect guest. She comes in. She's greeting everybody. Everybody's hugging. Melody has on a shirt that says, what does her shirt say? I'm on what you on. Y'all remember this shirt she had posted? So good vibes for her, but she is doing what Tisha did at that Galentine. I'm going to put my shirt with my message on and nobody better mess with me. And I appreciated that. Then who was the next to arrive? I think Nell and Chris Fletcher. They just happy to be invited, smiling from ear to ear. Hey. Melody, they're dancing, singing. Melody actually ends up sitting at a table with Chris and Nell to play spades. And she was taking somebody's money, okay? Then I think Kiki was the last to arrive. Now, this is really important. I want to explain the scene because a lot is going on. Remember that. Very layered scene. But when Kiki rounds the corner, coming to the back with her husband, Marsau is he's up front. He's near the back of the house, like close to the door, and he sees Kiki and come in, okay? Come around the back. Let's put it that way. Come around the back. And this rumor, the scandal is already out there. I know Tisha has talked to Marsau about it, or at the very minimum, he's heard it because it's on the internet. And the producers have already said, we're talking about it, period. You can tell that they said it in the scene. But when Marsau is up there and he sees Kiki and come around the corner, he greets them. He says hello. He doesn't have an attitude at all. In fact, he's real playful with them. He says, Hola, Kiki Amin. Now, y'all may have heard of Idi Amin, the crazy dictator in Africa, but y'all know he's doing a play on their name. Like, hey, Kiki Amin, instead of Idi Amin. I was like, okay, check that out. He's really being cool. We don't see him hug Kiki, but he definitely daps it up with her husband. Kiki hugs Jalen. So they're saying hello. This is going to throw anybody off. If you walk into a space, you don't know how people are going to take you. They're being greeted very warmly. They were invited, clearly. Kimmy invited them. Kimmy saying hello. Everybody's being cool. Then we have them at the table next. So that's what you see right here. Marsau is sitting at the table. Tisha's beside him. Jalen's on the corner. Stormy has the red hair there. And Kiki and her husband go over to say hello to this table, even though she's already greeted Marsau and Jalen closer to the house. But when Tisha sees Kiki's husband, she jumps up and hugs him. Oh, hey, she's really happy to see him. And when Kiki feels like, I'm going to say hi, but she's still reserved. You can tell she doesn't know how much to put into it, but she bends down to hug Tisha and say hello. And Tisha moves from under her arm and beelines it to the house. She wants Kiki to know, I don't F with you. Okay? Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. I don't give a damn. And in this moment, I was like, oh my God, I can only imagine what is running through Kiki's mind at this point. She doesn't want to play. Even at the table, I'll go a second before that. Tisha's sitting there dealing cards, and when she sees her husband talking to Kiki and she must have tensed up because Stormy actually says to her, hey girl, are you okay? And she said, I'm good with everybody. I'm okay. That's how she says it. Melody is at a completely different table. She's over at the Fletchers. Stormy is sitting with the Scotts. Now, Kiki is pissed that Tisha runs off to the house and leaves her hanging. And she starts fussing immediately. Oh, girl, this is so stupid. You stupid as hell. You stupid as hell. She's fussing. And her husband is standing beside her. And I'm assuming they may have asked him to leave the scene because he doesn't move her anywhere. At least that's not what it looks like. We see her go around and Stormy is asking Kiki at this point, what's wrong? What's going on? Tisha is coming back to the table. My guess is because they asked her to. So she's coming back to the table. And by they, I mean producers. And Marsau has a cigar in his mouth. Now, because Marsau and Tisha have made it a point of not addressing Kiki, you can tell that that was something they had already talked about before even showing up here. So when we get that fake scene between Marsau and his brother asking about how they're going to deal with Courtney, what they really should have been asking is, how are you going to deal with Kiki? Because you guys, they literally just completely pay her dust. Like she's not there. She's not a wall. She's not a door. She's air to them. They don't hear her. They don't see her. She's nothing. And Kiki is pissed. She is pissed, okay? But let's leave this table and go over to Melody's table real quick because I missed this part too, child. Martel comes in. He's the last one to come in. Lord Jesus help. But he greets everybody too. He comes over, and I think everybody is my guying him up because that's what they do. Hey, my guy, Marsau and Maurice. And then he heads over to the Fletcher's table where Melody is sitting and getting her life at the time because she was really like throwing them cards down like she was a spades expert, okay? A spades guru. But he comes over and Martel specifically says, hey, Mel. Melody pays him absolute dust. She's another person who act like he was the air just blowing a breeze. She did not give a damn. In fact, when I saw this meme right here, child, I literally was like, Martel, this is you right here. Don't bring that bullshit over here, okay? Don't bring it over here. But he did. He brought it over there, and Melody was hot. Now, Martel did not get the answer he needed, or he didn't get any acknowledgement. So he walks past Mel and taps her on the arm to let her know, I'm talking to you, so talk back. And Melody just freezes up, but the tension is all over her face. Like, mother, please go away. I'm not talking to you. We don't talk. Not in real life, not in fake life, not in no life. Beat it. And that was that scene. That was the end for Martel. He doesn't get anything more, no, not even speaking parts. Okay. So back to the table with Marsau and Tisha and Kiki. They're paying her dust. And Kiki starts really going in to the point of where, if you are looking at the scene, Stormy doesn't know what to do. She's looking back and forth between Tisha Marcel and Kiki, like, what type of BS? I'm in a tornado, like a real whirlwind. And Kiki just wants to get it out. You are mad at me for something that he did, not me. I didn't do this. Be mad at him. Be mad at your makeup artist. You're asking me to fire my people. And Stormy is trying to get a grip. So she says, what are you talking about? And she goes, her. I'm talking about her. And now Stormy kind of shuts down a little bit. And Kiki said, are you listening to me? And Stormy has to treat her like her son. Like, Stormy, I think it's like maybe 1 or 2 years old. She turns to her and grabs her the way you would a child. And she said, I'm listening to you. And I went, holy hell. Kiki is someplace else. She done skyrocketed someplace else in her mind. She's not there anymore. She is pissed. She is pissed and she is hurt. She's mostly hurt though, because she really don't like that Marsau and Tisha are putting this crazy, putting this information out about her. And she feels like she has the truth. And because Tisha won't listen, she's going to spill the truth in front of everybody because she feels like I gave you the opportunity to talk to me one-on-one and you chose not to. So she's telling everything and anybody who can hear it is hearing it. And that is when the camera pans to Tisha's face. And when I tell you, Tisha looked like she was seconds away from crying. Because before that, when she was treating her like she was dust, she was screaming for Maurice, we need a new deck of cards. And she was fake laughing and all that. But when Kiki finally tells all of it from the top to the end, Tisha drops her whole demeanor, everything. You can see her shoulders hang low. And Marsau says something like, we need a 2 of clubs or something. He's still pretending to play a game, okay? That's when Kiki snatches them damn cards out of Stormy's hands. And she went, here's your 2 of this and your 2 of that. She literally threw all of them. Y'all ain't playing this cards and trying to pretend like I'm not sitting here telling you what the hell is going on. You gonna pay attention to me. And the cherry on top is you are about to get splashed in the face with this damn brown. That's when she hit Tisha with the brown liquor, okay? She hit Tisha in the face so hard, Tisha did not know what was coming for her. And she literally was like, oh, I mean, just, she gasped hard. Marsau looks over at the producers or the cameraman. He said, we ain't doing this. We're not doing this. Guys, we're not doing this. Tisha started to rev up because she wanted to fight back. But she was like, is this what we're on? Hence Melody's t-shirt, child. I'm on what you're on, okay? But Tisha said, is this what we're on? And Marsau said, Tisha. Basically, we're not filming anything else for them in this scene, period. Now that's when everything starts happening, because one by one, the producers or the camera people get everybody's reaction in this scene. Nell jumps up with some napkins or whatever to go help Tisha, like to help her wipe off. Melody is just sitting there in a stunned kind of look, like, how in the hell did y'all get here? I think Kiki is walking past Martel, and Martel is, I think, just literally turned over to, or just looked up to see, because he's about to drink something, and he spits it out, like literally like a clown, like psh, spits out whatever's in his mouth. They start walking up toward the house. That's when Kimmy's walking out the door and her mouth drops open. A whole beehive could have flew in it. That's how wide open her mouth was. And she was like, what's going on? That's when Marsau said, Kiki just threw this water at Tisha. Either she goes or we go. That's how he said it. And I was like, I'll be damned. That is crazy. And then he said, drug test her motherfucking ass. Okay. And that's when Amin is activated. You see him coming around the corner for Marsau. He is moving like a beast. Do you hear me? Okay. Trying to get a hold of him. And people are trying to jump in front of him. Marsau is running behind people. Tisha's in the middle. Nobody's protecting her. And then you see them pushing Kiki back toward the front, like, you gotta go. And that's when Jalen's hand goes up in front of Kiki's face, like, you gotta get out of here. It was insane, y'all. Anywho, I loved every single solitary second of this episode. I thought it was great, even though I do, I'm acknowledging that there is some, hurt feelings here, deeply hurt feelings. And I also believe that this was Kiki trying to redeem herself. And all that we have seen in the aftermath of this, if you've been paying attention to it online, the fights with Kiki's mom and Wanda, Tisha's mom, Tisha's mom stays and stuff. So I don't know, it is what it is there. But everybody is coming after everybody right now. And we are watching this all play out around this show. This is the curse of Love and Marriage Huntsville, if I can say so. I am literally trying to stay the hell out of this mess. I just want to review the show. But y'all let me know what y'all think about everything else. I know a lot of y'all follow this content beyond the Saturday episodes, but y'all can talk to me in the comments about what you feel. If you liked the episode, if you did not, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, share,